Don't know what's going on here, but
apparently Dan's told me to start it and then started punching buttons.
I don't know if I'm supposed to go in almost the end of the show.
Right. And then of course bring up Zach. Okay. We need a theme song for Zach.
Accurate.
That's a good one today, actually.
I told you, let's let Dawn start the show tonight, and she wasn't paying attention.
Oh, I did not hear you say that.
I didn't hear you say that either.
No one ever listens.
Were you sure you had already brought yourself down and said it where nobody could hear you?
No, I said it before we brought anybody down.
He is a writer. He doesn't necessarily actually have to be talking to someone to be talking to someone.
Voices in his head talk to enough.
Yeah, the main reason he's a writer is because he hears voices in his head.
This is true. No lie detected. This is true. I wish they'd make more sense, but
good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Saturday night edition of Stupid O'Clock. Joe Dog is at a sci-fi convention tonight, and he did pop in here for a while, but he doesn't have very good connection, so he popped back out. And apparently, he's been busy promoting his own con at this convention, and so he and Don are relaxing in the room.
Yep, you're stuck with us. So
you're stuck with us.
Lie back and think of England.
But we do have Dan and Don and Joe Bachman and Zach, who did a wonderful job hosting the rocket launch today. Yes, I was watching, by the way, in case you didn't notice. But you've got to get that microphone fixed, son.
This microphone has been fine for a year and a half. And of course, the second biggest stream of the year, and I get a flu, and my microphone decides to crap the bed.
Hey, the Hindenburg did great right up until
it decided to land
in
America.
Hindenburg.
And you got to remember, the Titanic made it 95% of the way on its voyage before it hit an iceberg.
Yeah.
Was it an iceberg, or was it the Captain Nemo's Nautilus shooting a torpedo at it?
There's a sci-fi story for you.
Hey,
I told you.
Free. I'm not going to write it ever. Anybody else is welcome to that idea.
There was a company, and I think they're still doing it, is they're making a copy of the Titanic. And I said, if I ever win the lottery, okay, I'm going to build a submarine that looks like an iceberg and just follow this damn thing around.
You would. But we know what
It
happens.
would be fun. It would be fun.
Oh, yeah. Everybody remembers all those people on the Titanic, but nobody thinks about the poor iceberg. Okay. They got hit. It was just out there minding its own business, floating around in the Atlantic, and it got hit by an ocean liner.
That iceberg took my family's furniture. It can complain all at once.
Sometimes ice just does not get to go where it wants to go.
Yes. It was unpowered. Okay. So technically, the iceberg had the right of way, according to maritime law.
Did it declare Mayday? I don't think so.
No.
The iceberg was never in danger.
No,
Herb Morrison of Oh the Humanity remark on the recording of the Hindenburg explosion upon attempted landing in, what was it, New York?
Yes, New Jersey.
Lived until 1989. Man, that dude was okay. He
Well, that's not. That's pretty good. I mean
yeah, that's really good.
Hindenburg blew up in what, 38?
That's impressive.
Hey, John, let's not forget, though, that sometimes ice gets abused in ways it doesn't want to be abused.
Exactly. I'm backing the iceberg on this one.
I
might need to buy my microphone on this
that
one.
sequel to Debbie Does Dallas. Michaela.
Yes.
Lexi harvested a small button buck. All right.
Good.
Yes.
Hi, Michaela. Hi, Carl. Hi, Donna. Who else did I miss?
I don't know.
I just don't know anybody that hunts anymore.
Yeah, you do. Michaela.
Oh, well. See, all my friends that used to hunt got tired of freezing their butts off in the woods.
Why do they need to do that? Just drive up and down the road. Eventually, you'll get several.
Do not laugh. My mom hit a deer one night. She was driving down to Ace Hardware.
I've hit three in my lifetime.
She was in the Chevy S10, and it had a police bumper. It had a police bumper on the front of it. Okay. So she gets down there. She drives down to Ace Hardware. She's all shook up. She tells the guys in Ace Hardware, "I just hit a deer." And he goes, "Oh, is your car okay?" He said, "Yeah, we got a police bumper." He says, "Really? Where'd you hit the deer?" "Oh, about a half mile down the road." 3 guys jumped in a truck and left.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
I don't know if it's true or not, or if it's still happening, but back in the day, when in Minnesota where I grew up, they actually had a list of, if somebody hit a deer and the deer was salvageable, you got put on this list, and then you would get called to go get the deer that was hit if the cops had to report to the accident. They took bids for it down here when they started that law. You can salvage roadkill. Okay. And they took bids on who wanted to salvage the roadkill, kind of like a wrecker company. That if somebody hit a deer, they would call you. You would go out and get the deer off the road. That way, animal control didn't have to do it, which saved money. But one of the local meat processors put in the bid, and then next year he didn't because everybody was calling him. Just off the net. I mean, where I live in Ringgold, Georgia, from the subdivision I live in, on the backside, on 100 feet that way, it's a cow pasture. About 700 feet past that cow pasture is the highway. And from there, you've got another farm, the creek, and then the escarpment going up onto the mountain. That mountain is a state park. Okay. We get bears and deer and coyote and raccoons and hawks and buzzards and just all sorts of animals that live up there in that park that come down here. And I live about a mile from the county dump, the landfill. And I literally, early in the morning, if I walk outside, I can see fleets of crows
flying from the state park toward the dump to pick up the morning garbage.
Scavengers.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. People say, you don't need an AR-15. I said,
No, you need an F-10.
what do you mean I don't need an AR-15? I got more wildlife in my backyard than the city zoo does, okay?
Yeah, I got bears, wild boar, and tiny inoffensive.
Well, I have
things
one.
like
I have one wild boar.
and-
I have
and
one wild boar. His name is Pork Chop. So
No, that's your live at home. Pork chop. Yes, that's a good
yeah,
one.
he ain't that. He's old. He ain't that wild anymore. Kind of like us. I need to put him on a show.
He's a tame boar.
He's a tired
Nope.
boar.
He's a lazy boar. He's really boring.
A boring boar?
A boring boar.
One of my high school friends that's still around, he goes around to people's farms and he will hunt down wild boar and other, shall we say, nuisance animals that run around in their fields.
I used to do that, but
And he also is a beekeeper. So if you find a swarm of bees that does not have a hive, he will give them a brand new home and make sure that they are taken care of. So
Joe Dog's still going to peanut gallery us.
yes.
yeah, but that doesn't mean we have to listen to him.
We don't have to respond.
Is there a hide user button?
Actually,
Hey, Dan's good at blocking people. Go for
well,
it.
where is the block button on that? Okay.
He
Dan can
owns
tell
the
ya.
channel. We can't block Joe Dog.
We teach
So
it
back
also.
home though, there's been cougar sightings, and the first person that said that she saw it was actually a friend of mine growing up with her mom. So yeah, it went cougar sighting, and
I've seen plenty of cougars, but I'm too old for them to prey on.
well, that's the thing. That's where people were kind of going with. Oh, cougar! You saw a cougar. I thought you were a cougar. But there has been more sightings now.
Okay.
And
Conjuration is sort of a magic themed fantasy convention. Okay. So he was sorted in. Joe says he was sorted into a new house. Apparently, since he was the first actual member, he will be the leader of it. It's called Griping Dork.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
I no lie detected.
There, that's right.
hi, Joe Dog.
Griping Dork. Okay.
You know, Dimitri likes doing the paintings of the cats and dogs in their.
Yeah.
I could just imagine the colors they come up with for Griping Dork,
Griping.
and Dimitri doing a picture of Joe Dog.
If no one hears from me after tomorrow morning,
Yes.
assume that Lindsay got pissed I spent money on her because the package will arrive tomorrow.
What's in the box, Dan? What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box? Okay.
A brand new iPad to go with the Square point of sale terminal. Terminal? Yes. Okay. I think I said that right twice. She doesn't know it, but when she finds out I spent money on her, she will be livid.
Well, we know she's not watching the show right now because of
Wait
the
a minute.
normal 30-second delay. We should have heard the scream by now.
If it's for business, that's a tax write-off.
Yes, but Lindsay hates it when I spend money on her. She doesn't mind if I throw all kinds of money away on anything I want, but she hates it when I spend money on her. And I'm going, this is why you have a shrink on speed dial. And
Joe
not
Dog?
Yeah,
Uncle Carl
my wife is the same way.
doesn't want you to spend money on her, but she doesn't mind how much money you spend on yourself.
Yep. As long as the bills are paid, she don't give a shit.
I actually paid 2 extra bills today.
Why does Joe Dog suddenly want ice cream?
Well, Zach was eating ice cream a few minutes ago.
Oh,
I was eating cake.
Oh, it's a cake.
let them eat cake.
Did you have a Starship launch cake?
No, there was just cake in the fridge, and I wanted cake.
Gonna be a shortage of ice cream next week. Okay. And Carl says Donna is the opposite. She hates when Carl spends money on himself, but she doesn't mind anything that he spends on her. Okay. Well, you
I
know,
think Joe was talking about this and a shortage. And
gonna get some gray paint and haul it to.
I don't get it.
I think he's trying to make a joke if they need to repaint the launch mount, but because it's a little charred from today. But
Hey,
I don't know.
did they manage to get all the marshmallows off of it?
No.
That's
was
going to be
that
one of
was a
those things.
pretty- That was a pretty launch today. It really was. It's all 33 engines lit. It got up.
Yeah,
It
I was
separated.
impressed.
The 6 engines on the Starship lit. It just looked really good, and they turned it around to try and do the landing thing, and kaboom! Which, considering it didn't have that much fuel, is kind of amazing that it blew up like that.
Yeah, I think they turned it too quickly. It's like it was like this, and then it was like, oh, bye.
Well, I'm wondering if they ever got that the vane fixed properly. They were having problems with that. So I'm wondering if it malfunctioned and told they have automatic self-destructs on that. Apparently that's what happened to the Starship. Is it went to do engine cut off and said, oops, bye. And
Starship offed itself. The booster
was like, I'm not going.
Well, I had said at the early part of my stream, I wondered if they had
did it actually have the third stage attached? So
they don't have They don't have third stage. They just have 2 stages. The booster and the Starship.
The animation showed it with the little bitty passenger thing. Fireball Junior installed. I thought, even if the second stage went boom,
I wonder if
maybe.
I wonder if every time they launch one of these things, they blow up a Tesla and we just don't know about it.
Probably 5 or 6.
It's one of those things Elon's going to do. Starship's going to go up, doors open, Tesla comes out.
One of the big questions I put out, and I don't think we're going to get an answer, is they have the exclusion zone for boats,
right,
which extends about 2/3 of the way across the Gulf. But where it died and exploded was basically at the end of that exclusion zone, but the debris doesn't fall straight down because it's going 27,000 kilometers an hour.
It continues over towards the Atlantic, yes.
The estimated end point of the debris was 2/3 of the way to Africa for some of the pieces.
Oh, for artistic merit, it should fall on Disney World in large chunks.
So mad.
So, Elon's got more money than the mouse.
Yes. Ron DeSantis was killed today by a falling raptor.
That'd be the news story.
Oh.
It was a flight and a half, but some of the photos that have come back in, it lost a lot of tiles. So even if it got to Hawaii, there was no way this thing was going to re-enter successfully with how many tiles it was missing. So if anyone knows a better glue that's basically
Gorilla Glue didn't work?
I thought they
Gorilla Glue, yeah, that works on everything.
I thought they.
Oh wait, no, Gorilla Glue is flammable. I'm sorry.
You can't wait. You can't use Gorilla Glue anymore. It's hurting too many gorillas.
What, they get tired of cashing in the royalty checks? Oh, that reminds me of a fella that used to bet a lot of money on horse races. And he always won because he'd go up to the horse that he bet on and go, roses are red, violets are blue. Horses that lose are made into glue.
Yeah, that worked. That was what it was.
That was a joke from the 1920s. I'm sorry, I have to report that it was not original. Although I probably couldn't have come up with anything better if I tried.
I don't know if you want to pull that up, John, if you have the
Sorry.
abilities.
I was actually looking at something to pull up. What am I looking at here?
This was from one of our rocket chasers who set up a remote camera across the road from the pad and then put a 500 millimeter lens on it.
Yeah.
And then just let it go. So.
Oh, that is pretty. Oh, I love the diamond pattern
Wow.
in the
Yeah.
in the thrust.
That is cool looking.
So
That looks awesome.
If they ever get the damn thing to work, Robert Heinlein's going to stand up from his grave and go, "You got it right."
And then I'll pull it to here. SpaceX needs to win an Emmy for knowing how to broadcast a launch with drones, because no one else does drones for launches. This drone was flying up like almost between the tower and the rocket at points during the fueling, and it was like, okay. But yeah, they had a perfect day this morning.
Well,
It was
for a while.
beautiful. It was beautiful up until everything went wrong.
Well, everything went right, though. It didn't land on Orlando or Cuba. But that camera, that the first shot I showed you, was right here in that parking lot. Over here. So it was a little close. Sad thing is, SpaceX only broadcasted it on X, so we didn't get 4K footage.
Oh.
Even though everything was shot in 4 and 8K. It did a little wiggle.
That's gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous.
You know, somewhere in Earth orbit, an alien spacecraft is going, "Oh my God, they're shooting at us!" Yeah.
And Nick and family. I have to behave.
They missed. Yes. Hello, Nicholas.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I was very happy for everybody involved, because even though it wasn't a total success, they accomplished a lot of research along the way.
Mm-hmm. The hot fire, I think, was the biggest thing.
That went really well. I mean, separation, and then it was quite a while before the first stage kind of decided to seppuku itself.
Yeah, if you want to pull that up one more time, John.
Oh, sure.
This was the hot staging, which hasn't been done since, if I understand correctly, Russia in, I think, the 70s. Like, the U.S. has never done it. And what's interesting is if you watch the engines on the bottom left, you see them shut down, and then you see it real world shut down. There's the delay on the video. Then
the second stage, all 6 lit up, and
the N1 rocket was supposed to hot stage, if I remember. That's why it had those big structural vents around.
Yeah, I think that was the last one that had hot staging.
And
then this is where we knew the booster wasn't going to survive, because you could see the engines didn't light well. Some of them died.
I wonder if it'll be friends with me.
Yeah.
And then it started panicking, and it was like, "Oh, I'm just going to off myself. Bye."
I wonder if they'll be friends with me.
What was interesting is how clearly you could see it from 5 miles away. So this is from the public property where you could watch from. This was what you could see anywhere that you could stay on the U.S. side.
A lot of people don't know this. This is the tallest rocket ever invented.
It's 40 stories tall.
Yes, it's taller than the Saturn V.
And once they finish the upgrades, it'll be 3 times more powerful than the Saturn V.
20 feet taller than a Saturn V or something like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it here. And then what was interesting is we didn't know if we'd be able to see hot firing. You could see, or hot staging. You could see it with the naked eye because it was still close enough. So this is just a handheld camera zoomed in.
There
And
it
then
went.
you can see the booster separate away.
Yeah, that's great for a handheld camera. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see if we get to see the explosion. I want to see how big this was.
Oh, it was big. I didn't get to see the first one explode, so I'm sad I wasn't there to see this explosion. It starts to fail.
It's trying to launch. It ain't gonna make it. Kaboom. Ooh.
The world's biggest bottle rocket.
No kidding.
Where'd
You know
it
what I
go?
don't see? I don't see any debris.
Excuse me, John. You just witnessed that explosion be that large. Do you think there's going to be any debris larger than a baby?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
there's all sorts of,
seriously.
there's all
People
sorts of,
started finding tiles this afternoon again on the beach because so many fell off again from just
Oh.
normal flight. And the thing is, they're falling off while it's flying, so they just flutter down because they're about this big, so they can hold themselves. But
Well, if you ever find a good glue to stick them to the damn thing, that'll help.
yeah.
Um,
Now the question is, when will they try again? Because Elon says the pad's pretty much perfect, so they could roll out a new booster in a week or two and start testing. I hope not.
A, it got off the pad. B, it separated. All the engines worked, and they didn't blow up the launch facility. So yeah, there's all pluses across the board, pretty much.
Yep. And the FTS worked, which isn't something you normally want to celebrate, that your flight termination works, but we know the flight termination actually works. So, someone said they were getting footage of it from Florida, but I haven't seen that actually come out yet. One of our rocket chasers was on a cruise in the Bahamas, and he was really hoping that, because it was going to fly right over, but it would have already shut down before it got to him, so they weren't sure if they'd be able to see it or not.
That is one of the advantages to having a stainless steel rocket. It shows up pretty good.
Have a good night, Carl.
oh, good night, Carl.
Hi, Carl.
Hi, Carl.
You got shopping to do tomorrow, my boy.
What I love is all the major media outlets. SpaceX Starship fails. SpaceX Starship fails to reach orbit. Starship blows up again. It's like, well, yes, it was called a test flight.
Good night, Joe Dog.
They knew it was going to blow up before it left the ground.
You know, disaster sells. That's the motto of the news media. It's disaster sells.
Carl, did you really wave at the screen? Honestly, it would surprise me.
No, he waved at Joe Dog, probably. Hello, Atlanta.
So anybody got huge plans for the holiday?
Lindsay has a gift card to pay for mine and her part of the family Thanksgiving dinner, depending on.
We're not going. We're just sending a gift card.
No. We are going. Believe me, we are going. But my family, since we stopped letting Mom cook everything for us and letting my sister-in-law cook everything for us, not that either one is a bad cook, it's just, time constraints, and Mama's not a spring chicken anymore at 85. Take them out to dinner. Lindsay's got us a gift card to pay for mine and her share. And if my sister does not pick the right restaurant, Lindsay and I will get a free dinner at another time at that restaurant, and that'll be good too. I actually have 6 weeks left till I retire and never have to lift a finger again except at home. Is this a good thing? Um, as if there were drawbacks to suddenly becoming a millionaire. Yes.
Oh, let's see. What other news did we do today?
I don't know, but nobody else told Dawn what they were doing for Thanksgiving.
Oh, I'm cooking a turkey.
My Thanksgiving was a month and a half ago.
Oh yeah, that question wasn't for you, Zach.
Well, fine, I won't answer it.
What are you doing for Boxing Day, Zach?
Sleeping.
Recovering, getting better. He doesn't want to end up in thicker.
Yeah, no, thank you.
He sounds healthier already tonight.
I didn't this afternoon, so I'm glad I sound better tonight. Waking up at 3 a.m. and talking for 4 hours straight with a flu, generally not recommended by doctors.
Yeah, but it was that half a bottle of Jack Daniels you were chugging during the broadcast that probably got rid of the virus.
I wish it was Jack Daniels. It was knockoff hot chocolate.
Some blackberry brandy, that would make you feel better.
Next time you'll listen to the old man.
What you up to today, Joe?
And Joe Botman, what are you doing for the Thanksgiving holiday besides working?
No, actually, we can't work over the holiday. So I get to work, go back on midnights. We were supposed to be out tonight and tomorrow night, but the contractor who sets up our barricade and everything has prior obligations, so we have the weekend off. But that means I go back out Monday and Tuesday nights.
Yeah, I got to work Thanksgiving.
After that, they're not allowed to work until sunrise Monday morning.
Some radio station up in Cincinnati is paying me to chuck turkeys out of a helicopter.
As God is my witness.
I think I've seen that episode.
Minnesota
and
Wednesday, and then coming back home Sunday.
And Zach, if you don't get that reference, get on YouTube and look up WKRP Thanksgiving turkey.
I can do better than that. I'm gonna post it to Stupid O'Clock again. I think I need to post it every day.
What happened? Someone was throwing turkeys out of helicopters?
Because Les Nessman, for the love of God, he thought turkeys could fly.
Oh, it wasn't. Les was just.
No, it wasn't Les.
It was
the man on the scene.
The studio manager. The radio
I thought it was Les
manager.
that said it.
No, he was just reporting.
Oh, okay.
So there was a show that was in the 70s. Chris is.
Oh, Mr. Carlson. Okay.
Mr. Carlson. Yes.
So WKRP in Cincinnati, was that the 70s that show aired?
90s.
It was the 90s.
It was 80s.
80s? Okay.
80s?
Late 80s. Yeah.
So yeah, WKRP in Cincinnati was a television show here in the States in the 80s, and they did a Thanksgiving Day or Thanksgiving episode that is
78 to 82.
hilarious.
I was right.
Anyway,
I'm right all the time, so when I am right, I'm excited.
WKRP in Cincinnati is a radio station that's not doing well. Okay, they're not the best radio station in Cincinnati, so they keep trying to come up with all these gimmicks. And they were easy listening station starting off until this new manager took over and he changed the format to rock and roll, much to the delight of their DJ. And
Johnny Fever.
And they decided to do a Thanksgiving promotion where they were going to give away free turkeys. But the station manager took a bunch of turkeys up in a helicopter and started chucking them out for the crowd down in the parking lot at this local grocery store or something. And they had a guy down there reporting on it.
What's Messman?
And it turns out turkeys can't fly.
No, not when they're frozen.
No, these were live turkeys that he was chucking out of a helicopter.
Splat.
Live turkeys can fly, just not very well.
And not out of a helicopter.
And that is above their altitude limit for their wing to weight ratio, yes.
And they were probably domesticated turkeys, meaning that somebody had gone in and clipped the wings.
So they couldn't fly no matter what.
No. And he started chucking them out. So needless to say, all the customers at this grocery store were getting bombarded by turkeys.
Free turkeys.
Splat.
Free tenderized turkeys.
So Nick said Lonnie Anderson, which, okay.
Woo,
Is it Lonnie Anderson, or were you a Bailey fan?
Both. Why can't we have both?
Definitely both, if you're sane.
I don't remember what Bailey's real name was, but it's like the Marianne and Ginger question.
Yeah, exactly. Almost exactly.
Both.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Gary was the new station manager that changed the format. So
Okay. Oh, Chris says he was a Bailey fan.
And then of course you had Downtown Brown, was the guy that played the soul music and stuff.
Venus Flytrap.
Venus Flytrap. Was it? Oh, I'm sorry. Downtown Brown was him on Simon, where he played a cop.
Hi, Mac of all trades.
And then he went and played the preacher on Firefly.
That was
And
Ron
apparently
Glass.
Bailey's real name was Jan
Yeah.
Smithers.
Ron Glass, yes.
Ron Glass was not Venus Flytrap on WKRP.
Yes.
Totally different actor.
Okay, now you're gonna make me look this up, aren't you?
This is like a cultural exchange program.
It is. Yes.
Yeah, well, if you have culture, you really want to exchange it with people.
Ron Glass of Barney. We just, you know what? I
Ron
don't
Glass,
know, Chris
Barney
just
Miller,
needs to get his
yes.
butt on here. Tim Reed.
And
Chris
Tim
is
Reed
also
was
walking
the one on WKRP.
speaking of culture, though, the reason why you always support bacteria is that is the only culture some people have.
No.
Chris, Mac of all trades, and Donna have all said no. It was Tim Reed.
Of course. Not to be confused with Jerry.
No man.
And Bailey's real name is Jan Smithers. The actress's name is Jan Smithers. Excellent.
Herb Tarlick wanted Jennifer so bad.
Yeah, him and 50 billion other Americans. And Art Carlson used to be the Maytag repairman. Yes, indeed. I remember those days.
Gordon.
I'm so bored. Nobody's invented a Kindle yet.
Okay, so I totally just went to IMDb, and apparently either
That's
Chris
where I'm
knows
at
about
right
it,
now.
or he's an IMDb himself.
That's where I'm getting confused. Tim Reed was also, well, he was in Simon was where he played Downtown Brown. And then okay, I did have that one right. Simon, WKRP. What was the cop show they're showing him in here?
Simon and
well,
Simon?
Simon and Simon's one of them, but they show him in what looks like a sheriff's uniform. So I'm trying to figure out what. I don't remember
Yeah.
him ever playing a sheriff.
Okay, he was the dad in Sister Sister. I had to totally go on and look into this.
If you don't do what the piano player says, things might
He did
not
not
work
play
out too well.
That's what I just said, Chris, that he played in Sister Sister. Okay, Sister Sister, the sweatshirt that they're fighting over in the pilot episode was actually made by the company I used to work with when I was in high school. We did the screen printing. Hey, look.
Ta-da! Ted comes through again.
I know. We went grocery shopping today.
Chris, nobody can type as fast as we talk.
Oh, I was in the kitchen last night doing some stuff, and I was in the kitchen last night doing some stuff, and I was made some coffee. We have a Keurig. We have a Keurig coffee maker. So the Keurig starts making this sound, okay? And apparently, somewhere down the line, while it was making the sound, while it was making coffee, there was a steam purge or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the coffee maker made a sound that sounded like Alexa. And Alexa came on. And you know how she like scans the room to see where the voice came from? She was pointing at the coffee maker. Okay. So apparently Alexa has a thing for my coffee maker.
Quit saying that.
Well, no, it's a Decepticon. You need to just shoot the coffee maker.
No, you need to shoot Alexa. That's the Decepticon. The coffee maker is innocent.
Hey, Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. Okay. And that's straight from the movie soundtrack. Yes.
I shall return. You have been warned.
And now I'm going to have to post that. Stupid. See, I was a big Hasbro toy fan when I was a kid. I had the G.I. Joe stuff and the, Transformers and stuff like that. But I also had the movie, the original Transformers movie, and the soundtrack. Because it was actually a very good soundtrack because it had Weird Al Yankovic on it. That was one of the first. That was one of the first presentations of his song "Dare to Be Stupid" before it came out on the album "Dare to Be Stupid." So Zach, what happened? Or did we hear anything else about the launch? They say why Starship terminated, or
No, it was just the automated system. So
the engine shut off like what 5 seconds early or something? Or...
We're not completely sure. Because it looked like it was, I think, about 15 seconds earlier than it was supposed to be cut off. So we're not sure what caused it to abort, but we'll probably know. Elon will probably say something in the next few days, but so far he hasn't said much other than that the pad's in good shape. And IFT3 is now trending, which is funny since this was 2, but people are thinking January, February will be the next one. Depends what the FAA says, because now it is a failure, so the FAA has to have a full investigation. We'll see if Fish and Wildlife wants to do one again. Blah, 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 blah. So, but it was 6 months in between these two, so if they can get that down to 2 months, they're only allowed to do 5 a year, so if they can get it down to 2 months, 2.5 months in between, that would work well.
Cool. Yeah. Now, the tiles we were talking about coming off the rocket, they clip on, right? There's some sort of
Yeah.
They've got pegs all
Got
over the
little
outside.
metal clips in them
Right.
that just. Yeah, I don't know why.
No, well, it makes sense if you need to replace them quickly. I mean, 'cause that's
Yeah,
something-
but I feel like there should also be a glue because, I mean, the vibrations this thing is going through and the pressures it's going through. A little metal clip that's only like this big. You have like 5 of them around a circle point. That's not going to give a lot of rigidity.
But I think the idea they wanted also is you can replace them in orbit. So take a few extra with you, and if some of them do break, fall off, get chipped, whatever, you can spacewalk, go out there.
Honestly, I don't think they've thought that far, but yeah, actually that would work. You could do that.
Oh, so let me see, sure. Dan, let's see. Let's get off rockets for a minute and go to spaceships. Let's see. Apparently, David Tennant's going to be in the Christmas special for Doctor Who. Let's see what they say about that. I'm on Gizmodo. Let's see here.
If I'm not mistaken, that'll be the first episode available on Disney Plus.
Oh Lord, everybody hates Disney Plus right now.
If
Why?
I may, it was revealed in the regeneration scene of Jodie's last episode that David Tennant is not only the 10th Doctor, but the 15th.
Yep.
So he's trying to figure out why he came back, and Shooty Gatwa is trying to figure out why he didn't show up, and Jodie's going, y'all could have been a scriptwriter than me. And
Well, if
shenanigans ensue.
somebody pointed out the other day, if you go back to the anniversary special where we had Matt Smith and David Tennant together, at the very end where Smith is talking to the curator of the museum, he tells them, "You may go back and visit some of the old, but only the favorite faces."
Yeah, and there was established earlier than that Tennant's 10th Doctor was also the 11th Doctor because he wasted a regeneration on the hand.
Yep.
And got a damn near human Time Lord as well as himself. And Donna got to see both of them naked, or one, but it presumably cloned. So both. And this gets needlessly complicated.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to see how they wind this up. Now Donna Noble is coming back, and she should not be able to, because if she ever sees Tennant's face as the Doctor again, her brain will explode. Now I'm looking forward to seeing how that one gets retconned or cured, as the case may be. The 3 holiday specials, starting with the as close to the anniversary of the show as possible for the next 3 weeks after that, are going to be really let's just say, if folks aren't amazed and astounded, I will be really surprised. And then there is also a Christmas special on Christmas Day. So we've got from, let's see, Thanksgiving weekend, not Thanksgiving Day, but the Saturday, the next Saturday, and the next Saturday, the 3 specials with David Tennant. Then we're thinking that there's going to be a regeneration into Shooty Gatwa by Christmas. And everything is being hidden from us because that's good TV. And us fans are just going, well, it beats the hell out of it being canceled in the 80s and not seeing it again until Paul McGann showed up for one movie in the 90s. And
I don't have a lot of faith.
Paul
I don't have a
McGann
lot
may
of
have
faith
a
in
spin-off.
Disney.
Paul McGann may have a spin-off series coming up as the 8th Doctor. So we'll see
I
if
remember
that
seeing
works.
something about that.
Yeah, it's been announced all over the place, and he's well willing to come back and do it. He just said, if you put that wig on me, I'll shoot you.
I did like him in the short that they did, where he transitioned into the War Doctor.
Night of the Doctor, yes.
The Night of the Doctor, yes.
Yeah. Everybody was really pleased to see him get a second shot at being the Doctor, and
that is one short that I will watch every time I see it. I come across it online.
From that moment on, the fans were going, please give us a spin-off of Paul McGann being the Doctor for, a season. Please.
Mm-hmm.
He got shortchanged because he's a great actor. He did the part really well.
He got shortchanged because it was a movie, and it was an American movie.
Yeah. But he did his part right.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't see anything wrong with that movie. I've watched it over and over and over again, and I'm hypercritical, and I'm going, for what they were trying to do, it was really accessible for people that had not seen Doctor Who before in their life. It would have been a great entry point if they kept going. Oh, Donna. Oh, Donna. Ask Carl how he got the first and second Doctor videos at HallowCon. Oh, Peter Cushing's Doctor is canon. He is the movie version of the actual Doctor. If you can wrap your mind around that. They decided to publicize that the Doctor existed back when it was William Hartnell, and Peter Cushing got cast as William Hartnell in those 2 movies. There was supposed to be a third movie too, but the second one didn't make enough money, even though Wilf was in it.
Peter Cushing is Doctor Who. It should have turned into Doctor Who versus the vampires. Doctor Who versus Frankenstein. Doctor Who versus the werewolf.
And it will. Doctor Who versus the Ghost of Frankenstein. No, they actually did that in the show. The story was called The Chase. It was back in Classic Who, not the new stuff. It's black and white. If you don't like black and white, don't bother look it up because you're an idiot. Classic films are classic films. Classic TV shows are classic TV shows. It doesn't matter what format they were in. Oh, you're going to have to explain that one, Nick. So it's like Stargate meta episode with Team Extreme as the cover story. You're going to have to explain the reference on that one. I mean, I know Stargate, I know the meta episode Team Extreme, but how does that apply to Doctor Who? What was the actual question? I disagree. Classic Who is still better than the Who. They're equal. They're different, but they're equal. Classic Who is.
I was a fan of the Guess Who.
Classic Who is masterpiece theater acting with Dark Shadow's budget. New Who is masterpiece theater acting with Star Wars budget.
Oh, there's an idea for a Doctor Who crossover. Get Pete Townsend to play Doctor Who.
There you go. Hey? Because he went deaf years ago, but doesn't keep him from playing guitar. Yeah, I like all Doctor Who, the classic, the Peter Cushing movies, the New Who, spin-offs, the parodies, just if it's there, it's there. And I went through the wilderness years, so I was very happy to get something that wasn't old, but wasn't necessarily compatible with canon until somebody thought about it and then went, oh yeah, here's a way to make it fit. And the new stuff, yeah, I've been watching it since it came out in 2005. Every episode, I've got every episode.
Tell me he wouldn't make a great Doctor
Who. He might have to edit his speech pattern a little bit to make it fit for the family hour. Because he is rather an outspoken individual. So,
see, I was upset a little bit when Jodie Whitling got cast as Doctor Who because I was really rooting for Rupert Grint.
Well, yeah, but a lot of people were, so the Doctor would be Ginger again. But Jodie is a damn fine actress. She just got handed a series of not
turkeys,
exceptional scripts. She did the best she could with what she was handed, and there are other shows that prove that she's a better actress than what she was allowed to do in Who. But yeah. Oh yeah, Nick, that is a fan wet dream right there. Sean Pertwee playing his dad would be phenomenal, and he's already done it as a Halloween costume for his kids once. But it would take an awful lot of persuasion to get Sean to do it, because he thinks it would be disrespectful to his dad. Now, if you can get him, if you can overcome that hurdle, I'm all for it. I mean, I'm all for it even if you can't, but I'm all for it. And yeah, Donna, you're exactly right. Jodie's great. She was just handed a whole lot of bad scripts in a row. Some of them were actually good, but her part was not. You know, they didn't write her doctor as well as they would write a male doctor, and I think that's very sexy.
I think the problem is that they recycled scripts from a male doctor and tried to change it over to a female Doctor Who, however you want to do that.
I don't know that they recycled anything because most of it was written brand new, but it's like they didn't know how to.
They didn't know how to
say
write.
This without being insulting. They didn't know how to write for a lady doctor.
Exactly. They did basically. They changed all the he's to she's and hoped it worked.
And they left out how empathic that the doctor should have been, and made her a little not OCD, but one of those disorders where you can't empathize with other people quite as well as you should. And that's one of the things that the doctor is famous for being able to do. He can even empathize with the villains. He doesn't mind rigging things up so they blow themselves up instead of whatever their master plan was supposed to be. But period justice, maybe.
I just noticed none of our names are on our pictures today.
Really? You're right.
Because we don't know who are you. Oh wait, back on the Who. Okay, anyways.
Huh.
Back on the other Who. Yes.
Is there a button I need to punch here? Oh, shit.
I don't have the faintest idea. It might be a glitch in StreamYard. Let's see.
Not that we need them. I just noticed. I was like, something looks different tonight, and that was it.
No names and no backgrounds.
The Doctor was the only male hero in my youth who was based around compassion. Yes, indeed. He was a tremendous inspiration against the accusation of kindness as a solely feminine trait. Okay, I can relate to that, yes.
The names, John, when you're under brand, it's towards the top, directly under theme.
Display name. Oh, all our displays got turned off, apparently.
Oh, there we are. I know who you guys are now.
Yes, thank you.
There must have been an update. They must have switched off everything.
Either that or Joe Dog accidentally switched it off uploading something.
I bet I know exactly what happened. He set everything for doing the Starship launch and then didn't.
Yes, which would not have the subtitles. Yes.
And no clocks.
And Nick commented again. He to further on what he was saying about Doctor Who.
Let's see. See if
not only undermine that with a change, but then utterly remove that spirit of kindness. Yes, and the fans were outraged. Especially in one episode where she did not seem to know how to make a kind comment to her companion that was worried that his cancer may reappear. And that was so out of character. I mean, absolutely, totally out of character for the Doctor. Not just her, but every Doctor. So, I don't know. I have a sneaking suspicion that they set up Jodie to fail so that they would be able to, in the long run, say, oh, yeah, we tried a woman doctor, but it didn't work. Nobody liked it. Well, if you'd given her better scripts, people would have liked it even more. And a lot of us liked it even with your crappy scripts.
How long was she Doctor?
3 years.
Okay. I don't think I've actually seen the episodes of it, but other
Well,
than Clip.
yeah, and she's damn good. She's damn good, but they hobbled her with most of the scripts they gave her were subpar. Some of the scripts they gave her were excellent. It's just it seemed to me like they were bound and determined to make sure that a female doctor would never work. Here's your example. Now you had 3 years. We're going to give you a black guy, and we're going to fuck him up too, and then we can get back to the old white guys that what the BBC wants. And I'm going. If they do
You
that,
think that's why they're handing Doctor Who to Disney Plus, because Disney's got that woke reputation. It's just we'll hand it to Disney, let them screw it up, and then we'll go back to doing BBC.
It could be that. I mean, that would be a very cynical point of view, but I'm a very cynical person. Chris Chibnall could not write his way out of a wet paper bag if it was on fire.
Damn.
He is a
Okay.
piss poor writer of anything I have ever seen. And people tell me, yeah, on other shows he can write. And I'm going, no, he can't. He wanted to ruin Doctor Who from the get-go. He said he wanted to ruin Doctor Who from the get-go. And he proceeded to do his best to ruin Doctor Who from the moment he was declared showrunner.
Well, why would you take a job if you don't want to do it?
Oh, he wanted to do it. He just wanted to screw it up.
But why?
Because not all people are nice Canadians.
Hey,
Let's just say he's been on public record since he was a child saying he would fuck it up if he ever got the chance to do so. And he got the chance and he fucked it up. So he warned us.
yeah, it's just like the Trudeaus.
Elect me and I will screw up the entire economy of the country and everything that you think it stands for.
As long as Tim Hortons survives.
Tim Hortons isn't good anymore.
Yeah,
That's why Trudeau.
I think you're right, Mac, and Nick is right as well. With the lazy writing and deliberate sabotage. It's not exciting enough.
Well, I can feel myself fading, so I think I'm going to bow out before I crash actually here on camera. But
you were.
Oh, come on! I do it all the time. It's fun.
And he knows how much we make fun of you, Dan. He doesn't want to be made fun of like that.
Yeah, but that's when I give people enough content the occasional time I'm on video to turn myself into memes. Like, I'm worried about some of the facial expressions I made today during the launch. Like,
oh, you were real excited when that.
I was highly medicated, and then it launched, and I was like, "What?" If you want to see some fun.
I really wouldn't have told that one, son.
All 33 Raptor engines are going.
Yeah,
I was doing the same thing.
Oh, all 33 Raptor engines just blew the fuck up.
Because they had that graphic that showed you which engines were burning and which weren't.
Yeah.
And when it lit off, the whole graphic just went boop, all 33, and it was like.
Which they've only done once, and they only did for 2 seconds. So the fact that they did it for 2.5 minutes, they finally did something right.
That's a definite improvement. Now, if they can keep it from going foom right after it goes to second stage, hey, it's an improvement. They're getting it right slowly but surely. They still haven't put people on it
that we know.
So you know.
Yeah, let's not put meat bags on it just yet.
I don't know. have an entire flight dedicated to the people that say it can't work, and then have it go boom. All your critics are gone.
Well, people are saying that with the boats in the range. Like, if we just like accidentally drop a Raptor on one boat, no one will ever be under the
solves that
rockets.
problem right there.
Really?
And they make enough of them, so just
You really just have one extra that you jettison on purpose to hit the boats.
It takes off.
Flame on!
It launches Starship, and you see all 33 Raptor engines break off and shoot in different directions. Each Raptor engine aims at a different boat.
Yeah, they just have little wings fold out.
Still firing with its own internal fuel tank.
Exactly.
Boil the Gulf of Mexico. It's been done before.
I mean, at least we're not dropping people in volcanoes like they do in Nicaragua.
Yeah.
They were really proud of that when I was there. It was weird.
Yeah, well, there's this disrespect for the old traditions.
Yeah, they're like, you didn't like someone? You offered to take them on a beautiful helicopter tour of the capital. Oh, you want to see the volcano? Oh, take a look out the window. Bye. Oh, no, he fell.
He forgot his parachute.
Told him to keep that seatbelt fashion.
But on that big, beautiful, deadly note, I will see y'all next Thursday or in the Discord.
No, Zach.
Okay.
Are we gonna have a show Thursday?
Happy Thanksgiving or whatever the heck it is they do.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
Happy Thursday.
Oh, speaking of which,
I was gonna say, are we gonna have Stupid O'Clock on Thursday?
yeah, because
we don't know.
Is Thanksgiving, so I would say
yes, and you all have to have a turkey dinner.
I will make the call right now.
We're having lasagna.
We probably will not.
No. On Thanksgiving, a lasagna.
There's a reason, and because we are traveling up to Minnesota, we're doing
Minnesota there.
Thanksgiving, huh?
Oh, Minnesota there.
Yeah,
yes.
sure. Yes, we're going to be going up there. Well, my sister, she cannot make it until on Saturday. And since we do Christmas and Thanksgiving on the same day, then we're just going to have our turkey on Saturday when they get there.
I was born on the Gulf Coast and then moved to Tennessee, and I was shocked that people in Tennessee didn't have gumbo on Thanksgiving. Okay.
So yeah, in Minnesota, most people do have turkey on Thanksgiving, but we're not.
I'm shocked that people don't have gumbo at the drop of a hat. I mean, gumbo is good.
I'm surprised at how many people just don't know what Thanksgiving is. One of my friends here is a teacher, and he was having a class, and he was asking people and he was like, "So who has plans for Thanksgiving?" And the room went silent, and it's like 40 adults because he's teaching like adult classes, and he was like, "Okay, guess nobody." Kind of moved on in his teaching, and someone raised their hand. "What's Thanksgiving?" And he was like, "Oh,
oh yeah, sure. We don't have that up here, do we?
Oh,
yeah.
really? We need to explain
in Canada,
this.
we call that one Thursday in November.
Well, no, it's a Thursday in September, October. I don't know. It's the same thing. It's just we get snow earlier, so we're thankful earlier.
Trust me, we're not thankful for the snow.
No, we're not thankful for the snow. And we are also, we give thanks, and then we don't go spend every penny 4 hours later on Black Friday. Kind of ironic that your biggest spending day of the year comes right after when you're thankful.
I am definitely on the anti-Black Friday crowd. Okay, that's
just in general, or on that Friday.
In general, that is a horrible thing to do to people. Is to throw a chaotic, violent holiday right after Thanksgiving. Okay,
that's why I shop online that day instead of go to a Walmart where I would get trampled trying to get in the door.
Yeah, the one time we went to a Walmart and a Macy's, and the Walmart we were there at 9:00, and I think we left at 4 a.m. And we got a laptop though. It was like $50 instead of like $400. So like it was
that long to get one laptop.
Well, you had to wait in line. So it was like you had to wait in the line to get a sticky note, and then they weren't allowed to sell it until like 2 a.m. So they had to do other things. And they had this Christmas tree of like TV box sets that they had saran wrapped, but they didn't think about how to unsaran wrap it when it was 10 o'clock for everyone to buy it. They were $5 a TV set. And I just stood and watched death occur as people started climbing the Christmas tree box set tower, and then it fell. The Walmart that was about 10 miles from us, we were going to go to, and we're glad we didn't, because they had a lot of iPhone products at that one, which weren't really on sale, but they were like $50 off or something. And somebody thought it would be fun to go get the pepper spray from the hunting aisle and the duct tape. And they duct taped and started chucking cans of pepper spray around the Walmart as like pepper spray bombs. They had to evacuate the store.
Oh,
Yeah, and then they broke the thing and stole all the Apple products.
Okay, as much as I hate Black Friday and Black Friday sales, that was brilliant. Okay, I
Really?
I was like, give the guy an award. I mean, thinking.
okay, so do I get any sympathy for this? Because this is not my idea, but on Black Friday, I'm being drugged to the Mall of America.
You poor
Don't
soul.
do it.
Did you say drug or drugged?
Probably both.
We'll prepare your eulogy.
Because this will be, I think, I don't know, we've done it. Ted is into his Lego thing, and they have the Lego store up there. They have really good deals. Don't get me wrong. He gets really good deals on it, but it's like, I'm at the Mall of America on Black Friday.
Having been at West Edmonton Mall on fake Black Friday when it wasn't really Black Friday yet, don't do it.
No, I've done it. We get there. The thing is we know where we're going. We know where we park. We know where, so and I get a Caribou coffee for my troubles.
Everybody remember where we parked.
The number of people that park at West Edmonton Mall. It's great.
Nick, that's a great idea.
duct tape, pepper spray.
Well, because that's legal down there. It's not legal up here.
Body armor and
now, just out of curiosity, do they have bear spray in Canada?
Yes.
Yes, that's like pepper spray times 10.
Yes.
Yeah, but you can't just like
you always know, and they sell the little bills as well, and you can always tell when you get grizzly bear scat because it smells like pepper and it's got these little tiny brass bells in it.
So Max said it's where the Twins and Viking Stadium used to be, and the Met Center, which is where the North Stars used to play.
There is also a Mall of America down here close to me, in between myself and John, actually. And it's a big mall. And most of the stores are still in existence, unlike our local mall where there's only like 2 stores still in existence.
I will say this, that because of where we go, like how we go in the door, we don't get into the whole hullabaloo of the people pushing through to get the first 200 people in the Mall of America get a card for this and da. We know how to avoid that craziness.
Yeah, flamethrowers come in handy.
The what?
Flamethrowers come in handy.
No. We've never done anything illegal.
That you'll admit on a live recording.
Flamethrowers are not illegal.
No, they aren't.
I'm sure they're illegal.
Flamethrowers are not illegal.
They're totally legal.
They're probably illegal in the mall.
That's why you bring the Tesla, not a flamethrower. Because it's not a flamethrower. It's a very strong, directional, targeted candle that's propane powered.
I'll get the Spaceballs one.
Has anyone heard any? Is America Dreams still open? That one that they opened out in New Jersey?
That I don't know.
No, I don't do that. I saw a hole in the roof like a sane person. Um,
Looks like
oh
it is.
dear.
I was wondering because the people that own Mall of America also own West Edmonton Mall, and they bought out what they ended up calling American Dream in New Jersey, which was going to be like the second biggest mall in America,
Oh,
and
Hi,
it
Jimmy.
has like an indoor ski hill and like all this stuff, but they couldn't afford it, so they put up 50% of Mall of America and 50% of West Edmonton Mall as collateral to afford the purchase of American Dream. And then no stores wanted to buy store space in American Dream, and then the pandemic hit.
Ooh.
So I don't know. One day, Mall of America will go for sale.
What?
oh,
Has it changed? I don't know if it's changed management companies, but since they
Yeah.
opened in 90.
Is it as
Listen-
all hoot and holler as it is?
The what?
Is Mall of America as big of a deal as it is? Like, we have West Edmonton Mall, which is the big thing to do in Canada, and I worked at it, and it's nothing. So is it kind of the same thing?
I think
It's a big mall that you walk in. It's got a lot of stores in it. I mean,
the biggest thing
Yeah.
in most of the Mall Americas is they have an ice skating rink in some of them. Okay. I know the one out in Texas did, and it was a big thing because you just don't see ice skating rinks in Texas.
Wasn't Mall of America one mall?
yeah, Mall of America is Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
but
there's
it's,
one in
it's
Texas,
also
too.
there's also one in Georgia. There's also one where Texas, and it's like Six Flags. You don't know where you are once you
Exactly.
get past the security. Oh Lord.
No, that's called the Mall of Georgia.
No. There is a Mall of America in Georgia.
Yeah, the big one is Bloomington, Minnesota.
Yeah,
So they just franchised it out.
I think so.
Yeah, basically.
Interesting.
And Mac of all trades is right. A lot of malls aren't doing very
No, they're
well. And it doesn't have anything to do with the pandemic or anything else. They were suffering a long time before that.
Yeah.
For quite a while, malls were the really up and coming thing, and then individual stores stopped doing so well nationwide. So their mall locations stopped doing so well. And then bankruptcies were declared and bad things happened all over. And remarkably, there were no zombies involved, but
Yeah,
it's
the
only
only
a
big
matter
mall
of time.
The only big mall tenant we still have left is Hudson Bay.
Oh, I'm sorry. The one in Texas it's the Galleria.
Oh, okay, yes. There's a bunch of those.
And then Max said that the one in Georgia is called the Mall of Georgia. Told you so. Okay.
Well, excuse me, I've only ever driven by it. Oh, no, I haven't been in it once.
I know, I'm just teasing.
It is a generational change.
I was
though.
a teenager.
Demographic.
That's been a long time ago.
Because my generation never
When
grew
the
up
Mall of
going
America
to malls.
opened.
Hey,
The
The mall
original
wasn't
mall,
a thing.
though, was Southdale, and that was in Minnesota.
Yep.
And really, it was built so that these stores could open up and people could actually go shopping when it was cold as a witch's titty out. And
Underground Atlanta. Okay. And Junkman's Daughter at Little 5 Points. Okay. That was the big shopping places when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think with malls, a lot of it is that what they charge for square feet is insane.
Yeah.
And I think that they're shooting themselves in the foot. That's my opinion. I'm not
It's 100% valid. When I was working at the fruit stand, I was talking with some of the people that worked for the mall specifically, because we had quite a bit of turnover while I was there, and like within 3 stores kind of around us. And it was because if you got the store right next to ours was smaller than what you would think they would put the bathroom in. It was like a fragrance store. It was a tiny slice. And that tiny slice was more expensive than a 2-story store at the other end of the mall, solely because they were next door to the fruit stand. And it was like, why? Like, that's no. And that store had, this mall also didn't, West Edmonton Mall doesn't make sense. They had 5 movie theaters at one point at the same time. They had 2 of the same store. The big, big, that didn't happen during the live stream today, and I'm very thankful, but I'm also sad that I didn't think about it. I should have set off the balloons when it launched.
Actually, you should have set
and
off
then
the
you
balloon
should have
when
done
it
this
exploded.
when it exploded.
It'd be like-
Oh, is that what that one is?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
So what was the balloons? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. See, this is little 5 points.
You can tell who's on Mac.
Yeah.
There's Junkman's daughter. Yeah.
That looks like a place my grandparents would have told me not to go.
It is exactly the kind of place your grandmother would have told you not to go.
Yeah, because you can get stuff for cheap.
Is that a Wish store across the street?
Yes,
Like,
Yeah,
Wish.com?
you wish it was a store.
it is. Yeah, that whole place. It's actually a very popular area just to go hang out.
See, that's just not a thing up here. Like, growing up in my group of friends, it wasn't a thing that you went to the
Because
mall.
in Canada, if you're hanging out, it involves a snow shovel. Okay, that's
True. We only went to the mall for youth nights if we wanted to do like shenanigans or something.
No. If we wanted to do shenanigans, we went
I'm
to the
curious.
farm where the buffalo roamed.
I've never
In
looked at
Canada,
that
do
way,
they-
Mac.
Yeah, do they have moose tipping in Canada?
Probably. Most likely, yes.
When we were kids, of course, being where we live and all this, we used to go, take people
John, one.
Yeah. We used to take people cow tipping and snipe hunting.
Oh, yes, snipe hunting. Yes. For the hunt for the great Nauga.
And Bigfoot. We actually had Bigfoot hunts back then, but that was we were really hunting for Bigfoot. So it's not.
Yeah, no, we did fake cow tipping that was one time.
Now, yes. Junkman's daughter, there is the only one I actually knew of before this episode in Athens.
Oh, is there?
It may or may not have been the original before it became a franchise, and it is one of those places where you go to get
junk. If you remember Spencer's,
well, no, it's vintage hippie stuff.
Yes.
That's what it is in the one in Athens.
It was what was the other one? There were 2 of them. There's Spencer's Gifts.
Gifts.
And
Hot Topic is kind of similar.
No.
Yeah.
Before Hot Topic came around.
Yeah, before Hot Topic.
Hot Topic's a choice.
Hot Topic used to be much better than it
Gallagher's.
is. The day I saw a Justin Bieber CD for sale on Hot Topic, I was like, I'm done.
Gallagher's, I believe, was the name of the store.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with Bieber? You don't have Bieber fever?
We do blame Canada for him.
We didn't invent him. You did. He was a good Christian Canadian boy till y'all came around.
We still blame you for him.
He was still conceived up there, so you're at fault.
No.
Mm.
There was something else very much like Spencer's, and I can't remember the name
I
of it.
was thinking it was called Gallagher's, but I might be wrong.
Max said something about Starship.
It was a worldwide another hippie sort of shop.
Spencer's is very adult.
Not when I was there. It was very teenage.
Oh my God! Spencer's Gift, the modern Spencer's Gifts.
Oh, Pier 1. Yeah, Pier 1 Imports.
No. There's another
Pier 1 and Spencer's are very different stores.
No, they weren't. They weren't in Athens. They were almost exactly the same.
Okay, Pier 1 is home decor. Spencer's is interior decor.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, Spencer's was a head shop.
Yeah.
Pier 1 was a head shop with class.
Mm.
See, I
No.
always knew it as like the fancy schmancy.
Okay, Spencer's Gifts. This is interesting. Spencer's owns Spirit Halloween store.
That explains a lot.
That explains a lot. Yes, it do.
Hey, don't put down Halloween store. One of our friends is employed there, so
There's nothing wrong with the spirit of a Halloween. They just multiply greatly.
they're like rabbits. If they're left unsupervised, there's 15 more before you leave the room. Yeah, Pier 1. It was pretty much exactly the same as Spencer's, but it had imported goods and exotic head shop equipment, where Spencer's had normal head shop stuff.
Yeah. Well, Spencer has novelties. Pier 1 really didn't. So that's the big deal.
Down here they did. In Athens, it was one was yuppies and one was hippies. 6 1, half dozen the other. And this was the 70s. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, times have changed a little bit.
Mm.
I needed hand sanitizer the last time I walked out of a Spencer's.
I needed a hazmat suit last time I walked into a Spencer's. Ain't no telling who had handled some of this stuff, and it all smelled like patchouli anyway. Not in Athens, Georgia. They were pretty much the damn same, except Pier 1 had furniture, and Spencer's had posters and rolling papers.
I just remember Pier 1 as well. You said it was kind of more yuppie. I just remember it as being more the fancy schmancy stuff that it was.
Yeah. That's what I meant by yuppie. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most
no,
everything in the store was
I would have
made
never.
in-
I would have never
Yeah, really.
compared Spencer's to Pier 1 based on where my brain thinks about where each of them are.
They were about across the hall in the mall. There was a lot of stuff that was cheap brass knockoffs of things that would have been sold in an entirely different kind of store today that were
Well, it wouldn't be in a store today, it'd just be on Amazon.
well, it'd be decor and whatnot, but you could walk in and the trouble was that the entire store was unsupervised, so you'd walk in, you'd find something that was obviously from India, but somebody had swiped about 3/4 of it and walked out.
If there's a wiener on that monitor, I swear to God, Stu.
Oh, that
Pretty
was Spencer's.
much.
Yeah, that was Spencer's Gifts right there.
It's
I'm
not a
not
wiener, it's Jeff Bezos' rocket.
I'm not trying to defend any of this shit. I'm just trying to relate history as I know it. Athens, Georgia is a special case because there was a lot of hippie shit going on there that lasted into the 90s and did not stop in the 60s. So, and probably hasn't stopped yet.
I was going to say, have you ever been to Dinky Town? That's up in Minneapolis. It's Dinky Town.
Oh.
Look up Bob Dylan.
Never been to Funky Town either, but I got an invite. Don't everybody talk at once.
Okay.
So I'm looking at pictures of the old Southdale Mall, the Southdale Center, which is the original mall, and it's like, oh my god, from the 70s, and I'm having way too much fun.
Mm. Oh, I need to crank up the other room.
I'm catching up on stuff that I haven't been able to do all
Yeah,
week.
we always,
on
you know,
Midnights.
Spencer's was all posters and black lights. That was one of my big deals.
Oh yeah.
It was-
I don't even think we have Spencer's up here. I
Might
don't even
not.
think we have Hot Topic either. Or I think we just got Hot Topic.
Well,
I'm sorry, that may be the end of Canadian civilization as we know it.
no, they've survived worse.
Snow goths. I mean, come on. You know, how is that going to work?
Well, instead of all black, it's all white.
I mean, think about it. Canadian goths. I'm so depressed, eh? You know, and so it just doesn't work. I mean,
It does.
You haven't seen a Canadian in January.
Or any other time of the year.
That's-
Oh,
you haven't seen a
No,
Canadian
John,
in line for Tim Hortons.
I feel personally attacked by that comment.
oh well.
I mean, granted, I'm not Canadian, but back in the day,
if we're gonna put a store back in a mall, I want it to be Swiss Colony, okay, or Hickory Farms. One of the, you know, they used to
Radio Shack.
Radio Shack. That's another
Radio
the
Shack.
original.
Bring
Radio
back the original Radio Shack with everything except cell phones.
Walden's Books. Okay, got to put a bookstore back in the mall.
Hey, any bookstore is a good bookstore.
We still have bookstores in our mall,
We don't.
but that's because America doesn't read.
We have a Barnes and Noble, but Books a Million's disappeared. Walden's Books disappeared.
What's the other book one?
We still have a Books a Million inside of
Books a Million,
South
Barnes and
Mall.
Noble. Let's see. There was another bookstore in the mall. Had two bookstores. I went to both of them and spent lots of money every week out of my weekly paycheck when I was single.
Borders bookstore.
Wasn't
Borders, yeah.
B. Dalton.
B.
Dalton, that's another one. Don't know which one was the complement to the other one that was in the mall. Books a Million, we had to wait until the mall died before we had one of those. Well, the mall was dying. It wasn't dead yet. I mean, it's still not dead yet, but
And that's accurate, Mac.
they put a police station in it and took out a movie theater, so it's only a matter of time. Most of the stores are left, and I'm not saying that's because there's a police station there, but the timeline does make sense. Mac, I'm not even going to post that one. I'm sorry. I think I understand what you're getting at, but I don't think it's funny. It might be, and I might be not hip, but I'll take that chance. Nick, I have never heard of Reader's World.
Was it like RV World?
I haven't the faintest idea. Reader's World, it sounds like a bookstore. And he was responding to the bookstore comment. I do not know. I really do not know. Sounds great, though. Of course, I remember back when I was a kid, we go to a department store in Knoxville, and Dad would buy me one or two Tom Swift Jr. books, and right next to that book display, there was a place where he could take vacuum tubes from the TV and the radio and check them out to see if they needed to be replaced. And beyond that, there was an entire department store that I don't remember a damn thing about other than the book display in the radio tube place. And that does not speak well for a big store in downtown Knoxville. Don't know why Dad was taking us there, except it was a big freaking store. Don't even remember what chain it was. It was definitely not the Sears or Kmart or Zayres, because I knew the difference between all of those and where they were located. This is really weird. Now I wish I could remember more about what that damn store was. And knowing Dad, it was a freaking hardware store with a book display. I don't have the faintest idea.
Pasco?
It was a big old brick building in the middle of Knoxville. It wasn't out on the outskirts where the department stores and stuff were.
Otasco?
It was in the middle of downtown. I don't know. I really don't know.
Otasco used to be it was like a mini Walmart, had everything. You could get car parts, car stereos, guns and ammunition, just hunting clothes, books, just all sorts of
that would make sense. I don't remember, but that would make sense. And it was in a great big beautiful brick building in the middle of downtown. And instead of out in the middle of nowhere, out on the outskirts where they put the Sears and Kmart and the Zayres and things like that. I was only a child. I was barely 6. I mean, seriously. All I cared about was the Tom Swift Jr. books. I admit being able to watch somebody test radio tubes and see whether or not they were any good was kind of exciting.
That's something I forgot about was the tube machines they had in the front of all the stores.
Oh, yeah. You just walk up and plug a tube in and rotate a couple of dials to see which kind it was, and it would kind of glow for a minute, and it would tell you, oh, this one's got a couple of the pegs are not working correctly. You might want to buy a new one. Or, hey,
do I dare child myself and say, what's a tube?
Tubes are how they launched Saturn V.
Okay.
That's
vacuum tubes for electronics in radios and TV sets and things like that.
They were replaced by transistors.
Yes.
Okay. Pretty sure I've looked at them, but I don't think I've ever worked with them.
The last tube most people ever saw, unless you've got an old amplifier for a guitar or an old TV, which even right up until 10 years ago, TV still had picture tubes. Then everything went to LCDs, flat screens and such. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had tube TVs.
Yeah.
I just don't think we ever opened them.
We had a TV set. You had to open up the back of it and tap the main power tube with a Lincoln log roofing slab until it actually fired up. But the thing was, you had to bend the back of the TV set over and tap while leaving the power connected.
That sounds safe.
And then carefully close up the TV tube when your Astro Boy or Marine Boy or whatever cartoon that you were watching finally came on, because the TV came on. And by the time your parents came home, The TV was fully functional, and they never had to do the tap, tap, tap on the main power tube.
I worked one of my first jobs as a kid. I worked at Eckerd's Drugs, and right up front in all the drugstores had them. You walked in, and right in front of the door was this cabinet that sold tubes. That's all they did was sell tubes for color TVs and stuff like that. And had a little testing device on top. You'd stick your tube in whichever slot it fit in and run the dials and everything. It'd tell you if your tube was bad. I don't know why people had to do the testing, because when a tube blows, it turns black. It looks like somebody, was smoking a cigarette inside of a Coca-Cola bottle or something. So.
Yeah, when they died, it was perfectly obvious they were dead. I mean,
it's like,
you couldn't see the insides of it anymore.
Yeah,
and
they would rud. That's
well, they didn't actually disassemble. They just kind of Mission Impossible self-destruct in 15 seconds. And
it's kind of like a few.
It's one of those technologies that is EMP proof, which is probably why everybody moved away from it, because if we can't have a clear and present danger, we're not going to be able to collect more tax money. But you could actually, if you had a moon base.
Okay. Just for the record, do not look up blown tube on the internet.
You have done this already, John?
I just did it, and yeah, you don't want to go to those sites. Okay. At least not while the show's on. Okay.
Don't look up blown anything on the internet. No. If you had a base on the moon and you needed to build a radio, you did not have to have the glass dome for the vacuum tube, because it's already damn near a vacuum. You just had to. You just had the need for the diodes and whatnot that were inside the.
You're early, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, he's just tired of hearing me talk.
No, I'm not.
But you are early.
I think Zach
not
just
really.
became a Dawn groupie.
Why?
No, it just played for me. I still visually haven't seen it.
Oh,
StreamYard doesn't like me. Everything you guys do, all the name cards and everything, are a minute delayed.
how fast is your computer?
Fast enough for StreamYard. It was $6,000.
Evidently not. And the one that I use was only about 300. And it's fast enough.
I blame
Yeah, but
the
it's not the
internet.
computer processing, it's the internet.
Oh,
It's the
well.
browser. I'll blame Google Chrome. They're easy to blame.
Ooh, I may have to try this.
What, blown tubes?
Cheddar Bay sausage balls.
Sounds like it'll blow your tubes.
Yes. It will.
Don't you dare Google that.
You're late.
Let me see if
No, I
can
didn't. I
pull
got
that
it
up.
from. I got my computer from Newegg, actually.
Let me pull this up on screen real quick. Okay. There we go.
I'll try. There you go. Tillamook, yes. Red Lobster, cheddar biscuits,
Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Jimmy Dean,
Greenies? Excuse me.
Jimmy Dean sausage, yes.
Cream cheese and cheddar cheese.
I will highly recommend Jimmy Dean sausage. It is the lowest grease sausage that you will ever find.
But
Well, I was trying to read some of the other labels, but
I'm sorry. It was cream
that's all right.
cheese,
Don't worry.
cheddar
Don't worry.
cheese, and sausage.
Yeah.
And they use the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuit mix. So that's ooh, that sounds good because I usually use Bisquick.
Now, if anybody remembers the
Like that,
the
Jimmy?
year that, if
Yeah, Mike.
anybody remembers the year that John and I had the chili cook-off, the sausage in my chili was Jimmy Dean's sage sausage.
Ooh.
Yes.
See,
I
I've been
cheated.
making the sausage balls every year. It's one of the appetizers for Thanksgiving. And I found out they've been letting me make this damn stuff for like 12 years, and then they finally told me we don't like sage sausage.
You're
Sounds like the
wrong.
Canadian method.
That's like saying you don't like ranch dressing or
Especially if you're in the Midwest and you don't like ranch dressing.
mm-hmm.
Joe, do you like you what?
Oh, I love ranch. One of my
There you go.
coworkers firmly believes that every bit of ranch should be loaded onto a spaceship and shot towards the sun.
Well, they can be shot towards.
Sounds like a blue cheese fan.
He is.
Yeah.
Shoot him into the
I
moon.
am a blue cheese fan, but I also appreciate ranch. Yes.
Same
But we
here.
know that above and beyond all, Joe likes his sweet drizzle just a bit more.
Everybody likes their own flavor. Anyway,
Not the green room and not last man standing, Mr. Bachman.
you gotta figure normally on this show at this point I'm starting to get tired. Right now, because I've been on midnights all week, my brain is actually functioning.
And if you believe that, you'll buy this watch. And Zach is going, I didn't see a watch.
I see a whole bunch of clocks.
One day I'm gonna have to have a long talk with that boy.
I think our video stuff is getting stopped at the Canadian border.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Great. Now we're pissing off the Mounties. That's just what we need.
I don't think the Mounties are pissed off. I think they're too busy laughing to let us through the border. Oh Lord.
Have any of you been following the F1 stuff in Vegas?
Unfortunately,
They had issues with those. One of the covers for the.
Yeah, manhole cover destroyed a car on the first test round.
It wasn't actually a manhole cover. It was one of those little valve covers for the water supply where they open it up and turn the water on and off.
Okay.
And those things are about the size of your head. And
Yeah, they're
solid.
not that big.
Yeah, they're solid cast iron, but those cars only sit an inch and a half off the ground. So when that thing came up underneath the car, there were sparks everywhere. It was glorious.
Well, apparently that car's like written off.
Yeah, it was Ferrari. It was Ferrari based, and apparently it just destroyed the entire underside.
It was glorious. Yes.
Well, I guess they just got a notice that they broke curfew also last night.
Oh.
So they're not being penalized for it, but they're like, why? Well, the stupid thing is they're doing it in Vegas, but they're running it on European time. So the races start at like 3 a.m. It's like, okay.
Well, that's about the only time in Vegas that the traffic is not bumper to bumper.
Well, they've shut down the strip completely, like permanently for this. It took them 2 months to build it. Like that, you can't, if you're in Vegas right now, you cannot see the Las Vegas Strip. All the walkways and pedways have been all boarded up white. You can't see anything because the actual strip is the racetrack.
There's a bunch of gamblers that's going to be pissed off about that shit.
Yeah. Apparently, it was something like they've wanted to do this for decades or something, and they finally got approval to do it, and a lot of people are not happy. And F1's response to them canceling like the first few days of stuff to the public was, Well, we're still going to open the villages and stuff, so you can still come buy food and merch, but we're not going to refund your tickets, even though there's no races. And everyone's like, these were like $5,000
That's going to make
tickets.
them really popular.
Yeah. It's not going to go well in... I don't think F1's going to return to Vegas anytime soon.
Nope.
I'm trying to find a picture of this thing. And apparently they've taken it down from the internet because they don't want anybody to see.
Which, the accident?
The F1 car hitting this thing.
I think I have it, maybe. I don't have the video, but it gives you an idea. There we go. If you want to pull that up, why is it not screen shared? Come on, StreamYard.
I told you, it's Vegas. They sabotaged the internet.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Stays in Vegas.
Oh, there. Try that screen share. Maybe that'll work.
I'm waiting for it to pop up before I add it because it's trying real hard not to pop up.
I see a blank white screen, but I know it's the pop-up. There you go. Well, I see you clicked it, but there it is.
There you go. There it is, hitting that little thing.
There's the little thing.
Yeah.
All the other cities in Europe that have ever hosted are like, did no one tell you you're supposed to weld those down?
Things down.
But
I figure it's the Times of India posted the picture. That ought to tell you something right there.
But yeah, that card done.
It ate. They show the sparkly picture there.
Where'd it go?
Curious F1 fans demand rule change.
Yeah, I was trying to find the picture of the strip. I mean, there's the strip, and there's the entire. Actually, that'll be. There you go.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
There's the map. So it almost
looks like a video driving game. Well,
that's what they designed it off of. It came from one of the F1 games. And they're like, let's just do it in the real world.
See, that's where they made their mistake. They should have used the Speed Racer game.
Well, because there's so much traffic congestion, all taxis, Ubers, and Lyfts have said that there is now a $15 to $20 surcharge on everything, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
John, you got 30 seconds.
It's that time again. So, Zach, thanks for showing up and talking rockets. Don, thank you for showing up. And there you go. Okay.
Just being me.
Yeah. Joe, thanks for showing up. Dan, thanks for showing up. And Joe, Donna, good night wherever you are. Say good night,
and
everybody.
In the chat that was watching tonight too.
Good night, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.